waited a long time for a shot like this.
You know, I think in this one you're really meeting him at a different time in his life where he's kind of an idealist and, you know, and I think he's someone who throws himself into what he does. I think, you know, he always believes that he'll find a way through whatever is thrown at him. And in this movie, he's really dreaming of creating a better life for himself. He comes from kind of a hard scrabble background, and he's fighting for his freedom.
Is any space, for example, in this kind of films to give the character, improvise with the character, or you have to stick with the script?
No, there definitely is. There's actually quite a lot of opportunity to do that, and doing that, especially like with Donald, because he, you know, is from the improv comedy world originally a little bit, or he spent time in it. It was really fun. Phoebe made up a lot of stuff. We all did, and that is one of the fun things about it, is that there's freedom.
With Rogue One, it's only a chapter. With Solo, looks like it's gonna be another franchise, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I'm signed on to do 2 more if we do them, but we don't know yet if we will. But I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Okay.
You know, when you sign on for something like this, initially you know that you're taking on all of that. You know that it's going to entail. It's not just playing a part. It's taking on this kind of whole life adventure and change. Those toys and stuff, you know, watching my nieces and nephews sort of stomp on them and play with them is a lot of fun.
Talking about Millennium Falcon is a character in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, there's this feeling of that, like, love at first sight moment. It's wonderful. And that was one of the great joys of doing the movie, was both, like, walking into it for the first time and seeing the whole ship and how, these things that feel so familiar, which I did it during my screen test. And then, you know, when you've flown it for 2 months and pretended to fly it, you know, and you know the yoke and you know the buttons and you know everything, it's like, feels like your own ship. And that's like tremendously cool feeling. You know, he has a tremendous sort of optimism and enthusiasm that he works with, and watching the effect that had on everybody that works for him was really very clear that his energy and his, you know, and I've worked with great directors who don't have that at all. He has a kind of excitement and joy of filmmaking that he really loves. And he's like a great leader. And then also, you know, more in the nitty gritty, I spent a lot of time talking to him about, you know, why you're setting up this shot. I'd like to direct something. So it was about, you know, really particular kind of craftsman-like questions and things. I mean, that really helps, you know, putting on the costume and everything. It really gets you in the mood. Even during my screen test, I had, like, these pants, and I put them on. Oh, fuck, this is really Star Wars, you know? And it is that amazing sort of, like, being a kid again thing of you go onto all these sets, and there's 14,000 people there. Or, I mean, that's an exaggeration, but there's hundreds of people there. And they're dressed as creatures and aliens and stormtroopers and all this stuff, and then you're just doing a close-up on you. Like, that's going on every day. It's these kind of incredible magical worlds, and the design teams on these films are the best. I think George Lucas created a world that is so... He said this to me, that he wanted to create a new myth, and that he, you know, in doing so, it was so informed by the whole history of mythology and archetypes and folk stories and fairy tales. And I think, you know, really the work of Joseph Campbell. And so he created this world brilliantly that is so rich and so layered that we're still playing in that sandbox for 41 years.
The Millennium Falcon. Every ship isn't for everyone. It needs a particular type of pilot.
You done flirting?